how to get a lump sum Social Security SSI supplemental security income check. I have got all the details right here in the video. So without a further ado, let's get right into it. So have you ever wondered how you can get a lump sum check from SSI? Well, you know what guys, SSA does offer a one-time payment, which is a lump sum payment. You call it one-time payment, a retroactive payment for SSI recipient known as SSI Special Payment Program. In some of the cases, these payments can be quite large, sometimes thousands of dollars. However, guys, the amount of the money that you receive will totally depend on your particular situation. I wanted to provide all the details, all the resources so you can get most money as quickly as possible. And this SSI special program is particularly designed to help those people who have one-time expenses or needs such as medical bills, other costs which cannot be covered by your regular SSI payment. I'm going to cover all the important details, all the details regarding the one-time lump sum payment. So watch this video till then, and without a further ado, let's jump right into all the details. Now guys, before we understand how you can get lump sum payment from SSI, you need to meet certain eligibility requirements, this including being a US citizen or legal resident, having income below the SSI federal benefit rate, having a disability or a blind condition, that means according to the SSA's definition, and you must also have a specific need or expense which can be covered by the one-time payment. Now, if you believe that you meet the eligibility criteria, all the important requirements, then you must submit an application to the SSA. This can be done either through their online service to the Social Security ssa.gov, or you can do it by mail. And then in any of the case, you need to provide proof or your need for the expenses as well as supporting documentation such as the bank statement, pay stub, and other financial records in order to prove that you need this one-time help from Social Security Administration, and you need to prove that this help is enough to fulfill your one-time expenses. Once your application is approved, you'll receive your lump sum payment from SSI, and it's very important to note that this payment is not taxable, nor it is considered income for the purpose of other benefit programs. So if you believe that if you meet the eligibility requirements for the lump sum payment from SSI and you really need that one-time payment, it's the one-time expense that you're looking for, now it's time to take your action. Be sure to submit your application as soon as possible. I do not recommend you to do this, but let's say if you got any sort of a one-time emergency requirement, then this can be the greatest opportunity right from the Social Security Administration. It's your own decision. Make sure you know all the important criteria, terms and conditions, which I'm going to discuss as we move forward. And with the right information and little bit of effort, one-time check could be on your way. This one-time payment can help you to fulfill all those needs in emergency manner. Now, particularly, I'm not here to advise you what to do and what to not do. Everybody's situation is unique. Therefore, you need to assess your own financial condition, your needs, and then you can decide whether you need one-time payment or not. I wanted to provide all the general information, all the details, all the resources so you can get most money as quickly as possible. The best way to apply for this one-time lump sum payment, I recommend applying for SSI, and you know what, this can be done by visiting Social Security Administration website or directly calling them. Process involves directly providing detailed information about your financial situation to the trusted individual, to the trusted authorities, and make sure you have all the necessary documents ready before applying. Now, once your application is submitted to the Social Security Administration, they will going to review, determine whether you are eligible for the one-time check, and once approved the one-time check, the lump sum payment, you may be eligible to receive the one-time lump sum payment from SSA. Now, in some of the cases, these payments can be quite large, sometimes thousands of dollars. However, guys, the amount of the money that you receive will totally depend on your particular situation. It's basically not same for everybody. So it's very important to remember that the process for applying and receiving SSI, the one-time payment, can be lengthy and somewhat complicated in some scenarios. So if you have any questions and concern, I would highly recommend you should directly speak to the Social Security Administration representative through phone call or directly visiting them. Now guys, practically speaking about the lump sum payment, as you may know, if you have disability, then you can apply for SSI benefits, and this is important for two important reasons. First thing, as soon as you submit the application, the clock starts ticking for your back payments. So remember, the lump sum payment is not a prepayment, it's basically retroactive benefits. That means you are potentially eligible for a lump sum payment. But the second reason is SSI and SSDI benefit can take even longer time to be approved. We are not just talking about months, we are talking about potentially few few years. And this is not uncommon for an application to sit for a year or even few years or longer than that before it gets approved. So definitely you'll have to wait. It can often take months or even years for a decision to be made on Social Security disability application due to the backlogs in the system and the lengthy disability review process. If your application is approved after significant delay, Social Security Administration will likely owe you months of payback benefits, and these benefits may be issued in one-time large payment, that is the lump sum payment, or they may be paid in installments. Now, if they are paid in one large benefit check, this is known as lump sum payment. If the dollar figure of the back pay is quite large, then you know what, Social Security Administration may make installment payments instead. Now, installment payments are made 6 months apart in a series of 3 checks. So if you are approved for Social Security disability insurance benefits only, then you need to back pay the benefits which are typically paid as a lump sum. And speaking of the supplemental security income SSI benefits, these benefits may be paid back as a lump sum or in installments depending upon how much SSA owes you. Now guys, here is the thing. What happens when you get approved for SSI benefits? You know what? A lot of people submit their application only to be left feeling discouraged and frustrated with the length of the time that it's taking. Some people get discouraged and get frustrated with the length of time that it's taking. Now it's your right to be get represented. You may handle your own SSI case with free help from Social Security. You can also have right to have someone representing you. There are some rules about who can represent you, what your representative can do, and they will work with your representative and work with you as well to get your benefits approved faster. And finally, if you are one of those lucky person who got the letter from Social Security Administration, then congratulations on your application, because your application is being approved, or probably you got some good news. You know what? In that scenario, you'll be eligible for retroactive back payments and one-time lump sum payments as well. Now, definitely this is something which goes back to the date when you submitted your application, so it can be substantial sum depending on your benefits amount. Now again guys, remember, be careful with the lump sum payment because it's a one-time payment that you'll be going to get, and you know what, you want to make sure that this is the money you need to save and use it for long term so you can make sure you can make most of your benefits. Now speaking of the payment amount, if you are receiving disability benefits, then you could be eligible to receive lump sum payment depending on how much your monthly benefit amount is. So this could be in terms of thousands of dollars or even 10,000s of dollars. So this is a huge benefit one-time payment. So basically how they determine how much you are going to receive, it all comes down to how much you got approved as your monthly benefits. Let's say the maximum benefits is currently set at to $914, but your benefits can be anywhere between that. It's not necessarily $914 for everybody. Once your benefit amount is determined, the Social Security Administration will be going to calculate the lump sum payment that you are going to be eligible for, and you'll be going to get lump sum payment in the second month after you receive the first payment. So if you are receiving disability benefits, don't forget to ask about receiving lump sum payment. It could be helpful way to get more money in short term. Now many people think that once you get approved for the Social Security benefits, you'll be going to receive your lump sum payment right away. But you know what guys, this is not always the case. Sometimes this one can take couple of months after you start receiving the benefits for lump sum payment in order to arrive them, and it can be very frustrating trying to wait for the lump sum payment after you have been waiting for months and months or practically for years for your application to be approved. However guys, the day you wake up and see pending deposit in your bank account for the lump sum payment, it will be really worth it for that one-time lump sum payment. I can understand it can be difficult time to wait for the lump sum payment, but it's the best thing to do in order to get the one-time payment. Apart from waiting, there is not a whole lot yet that can do about it. It can actually take couple of months, even 3 months for the payments to arrive. I just wanted to point out this information. It can take some time, some decent amount of time to arrive, so make sure you hang tight. In the end, it will be worthwhile.